I think there's something slightly romantic about sort of leaving the conventional world behind and going and living in the wilds. I don't know, the world's a big place, and I think it's a shame to not see what there is out there, really. I consider myself a writer and a photographer first and foremost, but exploration's what I do. Anyone can be an explorer. It's really about having the right frame of mind and having that spirit of wanting to go on an adventure and go to new places. The way to do that is by putting yourself up against new challenges, being out of your comfort zone and trying new things. It's what drives human beings.
So here we are in the Brecon Beacons National Park in South Wales. It's one of the wildest places in the UK, and this is the place that I've been training for expeditions for the past 10 years. As a soldier, this is where I used to come, and we used to basically use this mountain range to run up and down pretty much every morning before breakfast. The reason the military trains here is because the weather's so grim, really. It really puts training into perspective, and it's hardcore conditions. I've led lots of expeditions on pretty much every continent. I've been to the jungles of Central and South America, all over Africa, Central Asia. A couple of years ago, I led the first expedition to head to the source of the Oxus. I also led the first expedition to walk across Madagascar through jungles and high mountain tops, and actually some of the mountains in Madagascar were very similar to the ones that you can see here in Wales.
Madagascar is one of those places that features in a lot of people's imaginations, but very few people actually go there. And the idea just came to me, well, why not walk across the island? So I looked into, had this been done before, and I couldn't find any evidence to suggest that anyone had actually done that. The local guides that we employed, they'd never been there. There was no paths there, you're bushwhacking the whole way.
What Lev does very well is he goes to places that we think we know and reveals things about them that we might not otherwise have known. That's his real motivation. It's to discover something new and then share that story with the world.
My next big challenge, I wanted to really reach the pinnacle of what I do. 4,000 miles, 7 countries, and about 8.5 million steps. It was kind of the biggest idea that I could think of, something that no other human being has done before, walk the length of the Nile. On an expedition of that magnitude, there's going to be a lot of challenges. The fact that it is across some of the most hostile terrain on the planet, the threat from wildlife, and of course the political situation. But probably my biggest concern is I'm going to be away for about 12 months, away from friends and family, and from any sort of contact from other human beings for a long time.
In our training, we push people to their limit, absolute limits, where people pass out or fall off. I've never ever seen him quit. The idea of him not accomplishing it is just inconceivable.
The biggest challenge sometimes is to suppress doubts and say, actually, I can do this. I'd encourage anyone to go and travel, go to places that you wouldn't necessarily think about going. The world's a big place and lots of things left to explore.